Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Together we will chant chapter 11, Bhagavad Gita, verses 31 to 40.
आख्याहि मे को भवानुग्ररूपः नमोऽस्तु ते देववर प्रसीद विज्ञातुमिच्छामि भवन्तमाद्यम् न हि प्रजानामि तव प्रवृत्तिम्। श्रीभगवानुवाच कालोऽस्मि लोकक्षयकृत् प्रवृद्धः लोकान् समाहर्तुमिह प्रवृत्तः ऋतेऽपि त्वां न भविष्यन्ति सर्वे येव स्थिताः प्रत्यनीकेषु योधाः तस्मात् त्वमुत्तिष्ठ यशो लभस्व जित्वा शत्रून् भुङ्क्ष्व राज्यं समृद्धम्। मयैवैते निहताः पूर्वमेव निमित्तमात्रं भव सव्यसाचिन्। द्रोणं च भीष्मं च जयद्रथं च कर्णं तथान्यानपि योधवीरान् मया हतांस्त्वं जहिमा व्यतिष्ठाः युध्यस्व जेतासि रणे सपत्नान्। सञ्जय उवाच एतत् श्रुत्वा वचनं केशवस्य कृताञ्जलिर्वेपमानः किरीटी नमस्कृत्वा भूय एवाह कृष्णम् सगद्गदं भीतभीतः प्रणम्य। अर्जुन उवाच स्थाने हृषीकेश तव प्रकीर्त्या जगत्प्रहृष्यत्यनुरज्यते च रक्षांसि भीतानि दिशो द्रवन्ति सर्वे नमस्यन्ति च सिद्धसङ्घाः कस्माच्च तेन न मेरन्महात्मन् गरीयसे ब्रह्मणोऽप्यादिकर्त्रे अनन्तदेवेश जगन्निवास त्वमक्षरं सदसत्तत्परं यत् त्वमादिदेवः पुरुषः पुराणः त्वमस्य विश्वस्य परं निधानम् वेत्तासि वेद्यं च परं च धाम त्वया ततं विश्वमनन्तरूप वायुर्यमोऽग्निर्वरुणः शशाङ्कः प्रजापतिस्त्वं प्रपितामहश्च नमो नमस्तेऽस्तु सहस्रकृत्वः पुनश्च भूयोऽपि नमो नमस्ते नमः पुरस्तादथ पृष्ठतस्ते नमोऽस्तु ते सर्वत एव सर्व अनन्तवीर्यामितविक्रमस्त्वम् सर्वं समाप्नोषि ततोऽसि सर्वः
We are fortunate to be doing a very important part of this chapter. This whole chapter gives you this whole idea about the Lord, his destruction, his holding everything. And these verses which we are doing could arguably be considered the most important verses in this chapter, because a lot of people look upon this chapter as Bhakti Yoga, which definitely it is. And Bhakti Yoga for many people sounds like a passive resignation to life. Whatever God gives you, you have to take. Whatever happens, happens because of God. And it sounds like a passive acceptance of what is happening. Now, all these statements, incidentally, are true. Whatever is happening because of God. Correct. Whatever will happen, happens because of him. Correct. Statements are true. What it converts in our mind is a passive acceptance. You have to accept that is also true. Now, if all these are true, then where is the falsity? This is what you have to carefully consider, because this is how philosophy or religious education gets misinterpreted. Okay, before I start, anyone is new? Mintu, are you new? Looks like a new name. Kritika also looks like a new name. Are you all new? Whose iPhone purse? Anybody is new? Kritika, Mintu, are you all new? First class, or you've been attending? New people never talk to me. I didn't realize that. I look like a Rakshas, I think. Frightened. So if you all are new, all I want to really say is welcome to the class. And if you don't understand anything, feel free to ask. This is not a class where it always has to be one-sided. So feel free if you want to ask anything. All right, so now let us carefully understand what is going on here and therefore in our own lives. It doesn't matter to us whether Arjuna saw the Vishwarupa of Krishna or not. मैं क्या करूं? तुम देखो या नहीं देखो, मेरा क्या जाता है? It doesn't matter to us. What matters to us is, what is this message for our lives? What are we going to do with this thing? So as you know, the story is that Arjuna is inspired by what Krishna has told him so far. And so he says, and he's also confused because on one hand, Krishna has told him that I'm all this thing. So he says, if you're all this thing, then let me see it. Let me see it all in you. Or show me that Vishwarupa Darshana that holds everything. Last chapter, remember, he said, I'm this, and this, and this, and this. So he said, okay, show me. Let me see it. If you think I'm worthy, so there's humility in his request. If you think I'm worthy, then please show me. And so Krishna says, okay, fine. You want it? Well, here it is. This is what God does to us. God gives us whatever we ask for. He is not a conjuice. He's a treasure house. Whatever you ask for will be given unto you. Knock and it shall be opened. Seek and you shall find. This is the promise of all gods of all religions. You can pursue any religion, they will still give it to you. Right? So God will simply give you what you want. He will give it to you. He's a treasure house. Nidhanam, he's a treasure house. Anything you can conceive, you can have. Digest that. Anything you can conceive, you can have. The Lord will provide it. Everything that happens because of Him. Because He is the enlivening principle by which things happen. In a factory, goods are produced. So many huge factories, sometimes across kilometers. But there is a electricity that makes a whole thing fun. Dug, 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 all of it that goes in that factory happens because of that electricity. If that electricity stops, that whole factory comes to a grinding halt. Similarly, everything that happens in this workshop is because of that electricity. So everything that happens here is because of Him and Him alone. Right? Just like everything that happens in that workshop is in that massive factory is because of electricity and electricity alone. If there's no electricity, the whole thing closes down. Even the people cannot work. Nothing can happen. Why can't the people work if there's no electricity? Obviously, there's no electricity in your office. How will you work over there? Can't work. Even the people cannot work there. Nothing can happen. The whole thing will come to a grinding halt. Right? So God makes everything happen. All right? Now, what happens depends on not the electricity, but the gadget through which it functions. I hope everybody is very, very clear about the role of God in our life. What happens when electricity passes through a bulb is that you get light. The same electricity that when it passes through a mixer grinder, you get mixing grinding. The same electricity when it passes through a washing machine, you get clothes washed. Right? So the same God functioning through all of us creates different expressions based on the
vasanas.
Equipment, not vasana.
Equipment.
The equipment. What is the equipment through which it is working? All right. So far, so good. Is everybody clear up to this point? Now, each one of us are going to get what we want. Because electricity has no view, right? You pass it through a bulb, you get light. You pass it through a washing machine, you get washed clothes. It all depends on what you do. got nothing to do with electricity itself per se. Now he's saying electricity is causing all this destruction. When does electricity cause destruction?
When you don't use it properly.
When you don't use it properly. When you abuse its power. You yourself are God. You are the enlivening power that makes all this happen. If you don't use that properly, you will create destruction. The same power you can use, your own power, to create a wonderful world. It is all up to us. And then people say, no, how is it up to me? As if I can create a wonderful world. Of course I can. Who says I can't? If you can conceive it, you can make it. The power is with us. And no, I can't do it. I have 2 small children. How is it that, how can I go and do anything in the world? I have 2 small children. I have to feed them. I have to make them grow. Okay, stop. If you have 2 small children, did somebody give you these 2 children as a gift? They left it outside your house at night one day? How did you get them? It is your activity that brought about this situation you're in. Isn't that correct? Nobody's handing us things. We create the situation. And because it is we who have created the situation, we can now create different situations. But because we have created the situation, we will always be, or at least this moment will always be restricted by this moment that I live in today, will always be restricted by
past actions.
Very good, correct. What a smart class. See, everybody knows everything. And close the class. Once everybody knows everything, then we can close the class. Waiting, isn't it a great day? One day we can say, oh wow, everybody knows everything. You don't need this class anymore. Wouldn't that be cool? But no fooling, okay? No, we all know. No. You show me that you know. Okay. How did my today is restricted because of what I've done in the past. So therefore my today is restricted. But is my future restricted? Is what I will do today capped at some point? No. Okay, I have 2 small children now and I want to change the world. What can I do today? Okay, so yeah, let's take this example of this person who has 2 small children and wants to do something really good and make this a beautiful world. Imagine his 2 small children. Let's give his 2 small children age. Let's say one is 5 and one is 10. Right? So in another 11 years, the 10-year-old will be 21 years old. He will be freed of that fellow's responsibilities. This 5-year-old will also one day become 21 years old and he will be freed of the responsibility. Right? So he is going to be bound by these 2 small children for this many years. Correct? 16 years he's going to be bound. Correct? No, I got all math right, Deepraj? 16 years he's going to be bound by this little thing. But is everything about his life bound? He still has freedom to do things which he can do while these 2 are young, isn't it? So why can't we do that? Let us say that I want to be healthy, but I have broken down and I've broken my foot now. So I'm restricted. I fell, I broke my foot. Now, how am I supposed to be healthy? My foot is broken. How can I go for a walk? I can argue like that. Or I can say, yes, I fell down. My foot is fractured currently. I cannot exercise my foot, but I can exercise my arms. I can eat healthy. I can begin after some time, after like 3 weeks, I can begin physiotherapy on my foot. So though I am restricted today by whatever I have done in the past, I also am free today itself to do something new, something different, and change my life henceforth. I have that power. What is the use of complaining about what I can't do? Let's think about what I can do. Because whatever it is I do can change it for the future. You may say, what has all this to do with the chapter? Generally, don't give a lecture. What has the chapter got to do with this? What it's got to do with is we are getting the sense from him that this is all going to happen. Aren't we getting that sense? Where did he say last time? He said, I am the mighty world destroying time, engaged here in annihilating the worlds. Even without you, all these warriors arranged in the opposing armies shall not live. So what is the impression we get? That he is doing everything. That all of this is happening because of him. Correct. He is doing everything. Everything is happening because of him. And that even if I don't do anything at this stage, this thing is happening anyway. This is what you get. In our minds, this translates as, I need not do anything. That is where we go wrong. Because he himself is saying, therefore, tasmat, therefore, tvam uttishta, get up, yashola basva, obtain yash, obtain success, jitva shatrum, having been victorious over the shatru or over the enemies, bhungshva rajan samruddham, enjoy this great rajyam samruddham, this samruddha rashtra, enjoy this prosperous heaven. Nihata purvameva, they have been killed already. Nimitta matram bhava savyasachan. Savyasachan means somebody who can shoot with both hands. He is equally dexterous with right and left. So why does he use this word savyasachan? Savyasachan he uses over here because you're talking here about extremely, what person are you talking about? He's able to shoot with both hands. What person are you talking about? Mr. Dada, can you switch a video off, please? It's very distracting to see the movement.
Is very dynamic.
A dynamic, a dynamic, efficient person, right? So if you are a dynamic, efficient person, in the right position at this moment, remember, he is in that position where all he needs to do is what he has to do. And all this is going to come into his lap. Here is a person who is more than capable of handling this army. He just has to do it. So there is a circumstance. You know what Shakespeare says? There is a time in the affairs of man. What is that quote? Where is my Bharat? Bharat, what is that quote? There is a time in the affairs of man, which when taken, there's a tide in the affairs of man. What is it? Can someone please give us that quote? No Shakespeare lovers here. Nobody in this class loves Shakespeare. This is tragic. What is that quote? There is a tide in the affairs of man when taken at, otherwise, take it at
I got it. There's a tide in the affairs of men, which taken at the flood leads on to fortune. Amidst all the voyage of their life is bound in shallows and in miseries. On such a full sea are we now afloat, and we must stake the current when it serves, or lose our ventures.
It's the current when it serves. So what do you understand of this? Hey, Deepraj, you have to read it better, okay? Read properly. My father would have whacked you. My father was a Shakespearean actor, and he was extremely particular about how Shakespeare is read. He used to get very angry with me because I didn't do it properly. So you have to go slowly and say it again. Say it properly, like
Right.
proper Shakespearean actor.
All right, I will try. There's a tide in the affairs of men, which, taken at the flood, leads on to fortune. Omitted, all the voyage of their life is bound in shallows and in miseries. On such a full sea are we now afloat, and we must take the current when it serves, or lose our ventures. Better?
Yes, very good.
Thank you.
We must take the current when it flows, or we lose our ventures. What do you understand from this? There is the element of our hard work, and our hard work has to be supported by
Action.
that is our hard work. It has to be supported by
Courage.
The
In-
circumstance.
what you're like saying it so softly, I can't hear. Deep Raj.
Intellect. Thinking.
All that is our hard work. That's all in our hands. That is our karma, our work, our thinking, our intentions. All of this is ours. It is all in our hand. What is not in our hand is
The enlivening principle, the enlivening.
yeah, that is common. So that is always
The
The
circumstance.
result.
that
Effect.
at this
Effect.
moment, yes, this
If-
moment.
Effect is not in our hand.
Now, the tide in the affairs of men. There is this moment. This moment may or may not be conducive to our work. Right? Okay, so we can work very hard to set up the university. Can we predict when that university will come up? We'll never know that. Why not? Because it depends not just on our hard work, and hard work includes everything: how much we think, how good our intentions are, how much action we put into it. Because it's not like, we have all these wonderful intentions, but we do nothing. 9 out of 10 people are full of wonderful intentions. Action is zero. Okay, that's a daily basis. How much work did I actually do for this? Right? So, how much work I did? What were my intentions? How much thinking did I apply? I did all of this. This is all in my hand. What is not in my hand is
Seize the moment.
okay, this moment. What is happening in this moment is not in my hands, right? Okay, it was in my hands in the past, maybe, but it's not in my hands at the moment. I may have created this moment, or I may not have, whatever you want to believe. But whatever is happening in the moment is not in my hands. For instance, you want to study Vedanta, but the class is cancelled. What will you do? Right? So you may have a very strong intention of joining the university, Vedanta University, whenever it comes. But the university isn't there. What are you going to do? So whatever is the current circumstance is not in my hands. Clear? My thinking, I can do something about. My intentions, I can do something about. My actions, I can do something about. All these are in my hands. But the circumstance, the situation, let's say I wanted to start a business and COVID struck. Can I do my business? What can I do? I can't do anything. I'm helpless. Let us say I want to teach Vedanta and there is nobody who wants to learn Vedanta. What will I do? I'm helpless. Right? Suppose you want to get married, but you can't find a single girl. Then what will you do? You are helpless. Right? So there's a circumstance which is not in our hands. This is where a confusion can arise. So I have my personality, which can be in my hands. I have a circumstance which is not in my hands. What am I supposed to do? I'm supposed to keep working until the work on what can be done. Yes, keep working. Because you don't know when the tide will change. And if you have kept working, whenever the tide will change, you will be taken on that tide. Have you heard of it that so many people are successful in this world, and a large part of that success can only be attributed to luck? Imagine if you were born Prince of England, how little work you have to do before the whole world knows about you. Imagine you're born Dhirubhai Ambani, how much you will have to do before the world knows about you, isn't it? So there is a luck element. Luck, I'm using the word luck, I'm saying only in the sense of current circumstance. Okay, so there is an element of whatever that thing is. But that tide will change one day. Don't wait for the tide. You continue the work. That is what Krishna is saying. This is the tide. This is the time. Whatever you have worked, 13 years, you've been struggling, you've been unsuccessful, you've been miserable. This is your time, you idiot, get up and fight. Which we translate in our minds as, God is going to win the war, so I don't have to do anything. So please understand these verses extremely carefully. These verses appear to be talking about things not being in our hands, but they actually are talking about things being in our hands. Otherwise, why should he tell him, get up and fight? He should tell him, go relax, I'll deal with these guys. Isn't it? He tells him, Tasmat uttishta yashola bhasva. Get up, fight, get up, uttishta, uttishta. He keeps telling him throughout, get up. This is this critical part of philosophy, Indian philosophy, which seems to have been lost in translation somewhere. That Indian philosophy says, it is all in our hands. Effort is given the highest priority. There is a famous Subhashitam which says, Udyamena hi. What is that? Udyamena hi. Siddhim labhanti, whatever.
Siddhanti karyani na manortha. Udmeni siddhanti karyani na manortha.
Very good. Please say it, Manoj.
उद्यमेन ही सिद्ध्यन्ति कार्याणि न मनोरथं नहि सुप्तस्य सिंहस्य प्रविशन्ति मुखे मृगा.
Very good. Nahi suptasya singhasya mukhe pravishanti mrugaha. Suptasya singhasya. The supta singer is the lion. In the mouth of the sleeping lion, the mrugaha, the deer or the animals do not enter. Udyamena hi siddhyanti karyani. Karyani, actions achieve siddhi, success. Udyamena, with hard work, with effort. Nacha manorathaihi, not by man ka rath chalne se. Suptasya singhasya, in the mouth of the sleeping lion, the deer do not enter. The lion is capable of catching the deer, but he has to put in that effort. So the whole philosophy talks about the effort we are capable of. But what we read from the text is that we have some kind of passive acceptance. Okay. Big lecture on passive acceptance versus hard work. I hope it's clear. So does that mean we don't accept? No, of course we have to accept. What are we accepting? We're accepting that this is the situation. That is what we're accepting. What are we working for? What we would like the situation to be. So acceptance and work goes together. God and work goes together. Circumstances and work go together. So bottom line is, we should concentrate on what is the same
Action.
Concentrate on that. Clear? Everybody is clear about this? Anybody has any question? Because please read the verses with that sense. Otherwise, we just misunderstand this whole thing. In spite of him telling us so clearly, Tasmat Uttishta. Tasmat Uttishta, get up. Otherwise, why get up? You should be go to sleep. Momita. The mere instrument phrase is meant to encourage action, but we ourselves favor inaction because we are scared like Arjuna in the beginning. Probably why we misinterpret this. The mere instrument phrase is to remove an impediment in action, which is
The doership.
doership. Ego. Very good. So one of the impediments in doing right action is ego. Right? We somehow create, when we get into work, the problem that arises out of getting into work is that we take it upon ourselves in an egoistical kind of way. We have to take the responsibility of the work. If you don't take the responsibility of a work, you're the clerk in that organization, right? You don't care work is done or not. You have to push this paper, you push the paper. That is not how a leader functions. And this class is for leaders, right? This class is for people who are going to take on higher roles in life. This is a class for intellectual development. It is not meant for people who don't know that, and then you pick up this and put it there. Vedanta is not taught to people who want that kind of thing. Vedanta is taught to people who have an aspiration to do something great And so they are responsible, therefore, that great thing happens. So you are taking responsibility that project, that work, whatever you have taken up actually happens. But while you do that, it is very possible to get responsible in the sense of ego. Like this happens because of me. While it is my responsibility to make sure that the end takes place, the fact remains that I by myself cannot make this happen. It will take the effort of millions of things that I may not even know about. Like a managing director in an organization, it's his job to make sure that whatever he has, whatever the goals and targets of the organization are met. But if they are met, whose credit is it? It's not his alone, right? Because everybody, suppose there are 5,000 people working in his organization, they all have to have done what they should be doing. And how can he then take a egoistical stance to that? So become an instrument is, Mahatma Gandhi used to put this concept as trusteeship. Imagine you're running a trust, right? None of that money is yours. However, you are responsible for making sure that money is used properly. In that sense, that what the money is given for, whatever your orphanage or whatever in the world it's given for, and then it's your job to make sure that the end that money was supposed to reach has reached it. You've done everything you have to, but the money is not yours. You have got nothing to do with it. Your job is to just make sure that, whatever, it's done. Whatever was supposed to be done is done. So become an instrument means take that responsibility without the ego. Since we don't understand this, we don't take the responsibility. We have to take the responsibility. I'm accountable. In that sense, I'm accountable to myself, to my conscience, to my purpose. I'm accountable. But its success is not mine alone. So that's what that phrase is supposed to mean. Since we don't actually understand that whole aspect, we misunderstand it as inaction. So yes, people become an instrument. I don't know if you can relate that to fear and of inactivity, but yes, some people don't get into activity out of fear. And when we don't get into activity out of fear, that's a different impediment, and that is our selfishness. When we are selfish, it sometimes manifests as fear.
So, Janki ji, but isn't courage like one of the, we lack courage often because our motives are selfish. For example, at the beginning, Arjuna might have lost his will to fight because he didn't have that, he didn't have the desire to win for the, I mean, as a virtue in itself, but more, I mean, he was a good warrior, efficient warrior, but his goal was to become the best archer, not, I mean, it was more of a personal goal. Is that why he lacked courage?
No. You listen to what he says. No? He says, I can't fight with my family. It's not that he didn't want to win the war. It's not that he wasn't clear. It was just that the challenge was now he had to deal with his own family. And family means what? His own guru. People he respected so much. In the opposing army, he says Bhishma. Bhishma, whose kingdom this is. Dronacharya, who taught him archery. His own mama is over there. Shalya is there. There's all sorts of people over there. His whole family is on the opposing side. Imagine that. Imagine if you went to war and you looked at the war and you saw your whole family the other side. And you said, no, I don't want to fight this war. I don't want to kill my family. So he's forgotten the vision for the country and he's become personalized. It's my family, my teacher, my this, my that. He's forgotten what is this war for. Remember, for Krishna also it was his family. They were relations, right? Krishna also it is family, right? For everybody it is family on the other side. They're all connected to one another. They're not just friends. They're all related to one another. And Krishna also has huge respect for Bhishma, Drona. They are all stalwarts. Shalya is on the other side. He's in Mama. He's in the other side because of Duryodhana's, you know the story, right? That Shalya was coming from whatever kingdom he was coming. And on the way he did, as he was coming to fight the war on the side of the Pandavas, huge arrangements were made for him. For him, his whole army, he was coming with his army to fight the war for the Pandavas. He heard about it. He was coming to help the Pandavas, and fabulous arrangements were made for him on the way. And so he, being a Kshatriya, you know how these Kshatriyas are, right? He says, my God, whoever has made all these arrangements, I promise him my friendship. I'll give him whatever he wants. And then Duryodhana comes in front and says, well, I want you to fight on my side. And Shalya is horrified because he wasn't planning to fight on Duryodhana's side. But that's how Duryodhana got this whole army away from the Pandavas. You know, he did a lot of Shadyantar to get, he got 18 Akshaunis, right? The poor Pandavas, they couldn't get very many. They got 11. Even the people who wanted to fight for the Pandavas were fighting on the side of the Kauravas. So these are his friends, these are his relations. They are all on the other side. Shalya was coming to fight for Arjuna. He was now fighting on the other side. Does Arjuna want to kill him? Arjuna was fully well, right? He raises the bow, he kills whoever's that side. He says, no, I won't raise this bow. Suddenly it's become personalized. When we become personalized, we crumble in the fight of life. We can't face the challenges when we personalize. We have to stay above the problem. It is the nature of the mind to get below the problem and get crushed. The intellect can stay above the problem. And the reason the intellect can deal with the problem, stay above the problem, is because
It has the loftier goal in mind.
very good. Great, Mamita. It has a vision. So now that
Okay.
you answered that, I think you got the whole point. You got it, right?
Yes, because I thought it was lack of courage, but no.
Yes, lack of courage is the consequence of this.
Okay. Thank you.
So what do we need in life? We need the hard work. We need the, secondly, we need the, remember what the verse is talking about, tasmat uttishta.
Circumstances, time.
What name?
The timing.
Timing, that's correct. That will give us success. That part, tide or timing and all of that will give us success. That is something unpredictable. Imagine I'm in the share market. Now the share market follows its own thing, right? It goes up, it goes down, it goes up, it goes down, whatever it's doing, it does. All right. So when do I make the money? If I ever get this position where I bought low and sold high, how can I predict that? I can't, because this market goes up and down. But if I manage to do my right activity, whatever that right activity is throughout, if it's putting a sip or whatever in the world is the right activity, I'm not please giving you financial advice, I'm just giving an example. If you have done the right thing, you will get the benefits of the movement. The movement is taking place on its own. We have been doing the work, we will get the benefits. But the work involves
No sound here.
No sound, no sound.
Janki ji, no sound.
No sound. Is everybody without sound?
Janki ji seems to have lost connection. Just a minute, please. Thank you.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Janki ji just messaged. There's no electricity in her place. She's trying another device.
Sorry, electricity is gone over here. Can you all hear me now? Are you all there?
Yes, yes.
So, where did you hear up to?
Jankiji, you were using the example of share market using a SIP. If you use proper planning, then you would reach and get that goal.
Oh, you all were only there. Okay. I thought we finished with Momita's question.
Yeah, it's wrapped up there.
Okay. All right. So sorry about this. Electricity is gone. I don't know what is happening in Mumbai, but electricity is now gone. But all of y'all seem to have electricity, so I don't know how we don't have it. You can see others from Santa Cruz also here. Oh, maybe all are on the phone. Okay, so where were we? We were at verse 33. Tasmat uttishta yasho labhasva. Tasmat uttishta. Get up. Yasho labhasva. Obtain success. Jitva shatrum bhungsha. Bhungsha rajyam samruddha. Having won the shatrus, having won the enemies, enjoy the kingdom. You will get the sort of rightful results of whatever you have done, and please enjoy it. Why would you not enjoy it? Mayeva vihita nihita purvameva. And by me they have been killed, means the law of causation has already declared its answer, as it were, It's like execution orders have been declared. Nimitta matram bhava savya sachin. So, savya sachin is where we were at. Now, our job is to keep on working. Is it enough to work? No, it is not enough to work. We have to do a lot of thinking along with that work. So is it enough to do the thinking and the working? No. We have to have the right intentions in the work. So is that enough to have the right thinking, the right intentions, and the right work? No. There is one more thing. What is that other thing?
Right time, circumstances.
That is not in our hands.
And living principle.
That is common.
Selfless.
That is intention.
Obligation.
That is your action, right? That is your action and intention. Yeah. What is that additional thing?
Some things are beyond our control.
What is the additional thing that you need? Don't talk about things which are beyond your control. So uske hum kya karenge? Now it's beyond my control, beyond my control. Ho gaya. What is the additional thing I need to do? I am working as hard as I can. I have the best intentions I'm capable of. I'm thinking as much as I can. What is the other thing we need?
Consistency.
Surrender. Working as an instrument.
Okay, that's fine. All that will come with an intention. all your good intentions will take care of all the troubles you have, all the impediments of actions.
Opportunity?
Not in my hand. Belief in law of causation, you know, you believe in it, otherwise why would you be working?
Holding the vision in our minds?
Intention.
Give up the fruit of action, fruit of the action.
I think it's a determination.
Intention.
Is it determination?
Determination is part of intention, no?
Is it distraction?
Sorry?
Is it distraction?
Focus?
Discussion with others, okay, you can, so that can be part of your thinking process. You're getting ideas from others.
Consistency in action?
Okay, that'll all come in your intention. You're working towards your goal, so obviously you're going to be consistent. There is one other factor, and this is something that 99% of people ignore.
Having no ego.
Intention.
Upgrading your skills.
Very good, Momita. Today you're on the roll. Upgrading yourself. This person cannot obtain something beyond itself. Remember that, please. I can only obtain what I am capable of. The tide may be at its very best. But what can I obtain? Only what my ship is capable of doing. So if I want to make the most of the tide when the tide changes, I have to have what? A better
capacity.
Yeah. So we small people struggling against this tide, doing all we can, forget that one of the things that we need to do, besides the struggle we are putting in, is to be able to be capable of more. And to become capable of more, every one of us require
Upgradation.
Yes, so for that we have to do what? What's our action?
Morning study.
Morning study.
Now finally. Okay, without doing matha take and morning study, will a class ever end? It has to end like that. So if you're not doing morning study, what we're not doing is not trying any attempt at upgrading the intellect. If you're not doing that, you're stuck. Basically, you're going to be stuck at the same level. Even if the tide is very good, you get slightly better at this level. You want to do it at a way bigger level. You have to upgrade to become that person. Why do you think we're doing a Vedanta and leadership program? You have to upgrade the very personality to achieve something higher. From which word in the text did we start talking about this?
Savyasachan.
Savyasachan. Very good. M. Who's M? Oh, Meera, is it? M?
Meera. Meera.
Okay, correct. So, Savyasachan, please understand what he's talking about. He's talking about this person who is like at a superb level of efficiency. So much efficiency is like the world's best archer. What does that even mean? That means he can shoot with equal dexterity both hands. Can you imagine what he has upgraded himself to be in terms of his particular skill? So he says, Nimitta matram bhava savyasachan. Don't you find that very interesting? This person who's at the height of skill, become a nimitta matram, work without the ego, and uttishta, work. So this verse, sounding such a passive representation, is talking about a huge amount of effort. in doing everything you have to, in even getting better than you are, and then actually doing the work, because tasmat uttishta. The result of it is success and enjoyment. The result will come. Relax. Bharat, you had something?
Yes, so wouldn't upgrading your skills be part of the thinking process? Otherwise, what is the thinking process?
Thinking is your planning, conceiving, all that kind of thing. But upgrading yourself means upgrading every aspect, your capacity for action, your capacity of intention, and your capacity of how much you can think. Okay, suppose everybody who uses the intellect doesn't think the same way. Just like every bird doesn't fly at the same height. The chicken flies, the pigeon flies, the eagle flies. They all have wings, but of a different kind. So similarly, all of us who use our head don't use it at the same capacity.
Okay, thank you.
All right, so that is it. What are our announcements? Do we have to tell everybody anything? We have to talk. There's a retreat in France, so whoever would like to join us for the retreat in France, please come. That would be a great thing to go there. Those who want to study this subject in greater depth than even a retreat can join us for the Vedanta and Leadership Program. If you're interested, please fill in that survey form. Then what else have I to say? Have I got anything else to say?
Yes, from tomorrow, Sunandaji's Yajna will be starting. So for those in Mumbai can come to the event. It's at Bharatiya Vidya Bhavan, Chowpatty. We've shared the details, and those who are not in Mumbai, please share the details with your friends and family in Mumbai. Thank
And
you.
those in Mumbai can also share.
Yes.
Okay, so great. So we'll meet next week. Oh yes, is anybody here from Thursday class? We're thinking of making Thursday class to Friday. I assume it's okay with everybody, right? So then we have Friday, Saturday, Sunday classes instead of having Thursday class, then nothing, and then Saturday, Sunday. Have all three together. So anybody has any particular objection to that? Okay, nobody seems to have any particular objection. So this Thursday, we'll have it on Thursday, and then after we finished with our BG in 20, Bhagavad Gita in 20, then we can shift Thursday class to Friday. Okay, so that's all our various gossip for the week. Enjoy the rest of your week. Hari Om.
Hari Om, Janki. Thank you.
Hari Om Janki ji, thank you.
Hari Om Janki ji, thank you.
Hari Om Janki ji, thank you.
Hari Om.
Thank you, Hari Om Janki ji.
Yeah.